All right, everybody, welcome back. We got another Zoom call. This time we are with my sister, Chrissy Cronin. I got it right. I said her name right because I had to, because this is official. So this is my my little sister. Just some facts about her. When she was born, she had a hard time talking. She didn't talk for the first 7 years of life. It was just crazy. Come to find out, if you have tape over your mouth for 7 years, it's hard for you to talk. So that was my fault. We have an adversarial relationship. So I wanted to let you know something, Chrissy, that what's it called? Anytime I use you as a sermon illustration, it's always in a bad light.
I'm the devil.
You're like Satan, you're like the tattletale, you're like a snitch. Like,
well,
whatever it is.
Now that I have one of those, I totally understand. Like, I totally get it. I'm like, that was me, and now I know why my brothers hated me.
Who's your snitch?
Bethany.
Which one?
Bethany.
Bethany, that's my niece. That's her oldest daughter. She has William. William is 12.
Gonna be 12.
Gonna be 12 in August.
Yep.
And then Bethany is how old?
7.
And then Olivia. And Olivia is like hilarious, man. Olivia's funny.
She is Mike. She is a girl version of Mike and my husband Randy. Like, she is, which is a bad, like.
Good for her.
It's so bad.
Good for her.
Sarcasm. She's only 5, and she's so sarcastic. It's terrible.
So is this the first time in 7 weeks you've done your hair?
No, I usually do my hair when I have to go to the grocery store.
That's when you actually believe in yourself? You're like, all right, I have to do it. But now everyone has to wear a mask, so it doesn't matter. You
don't have to wear makeup, yeah.
Dude,
masks, glasses.
I went into the store straight up like this the other day. I had my mask on, and I had, where's my hat? Do I have my hat here? I had my A's hat, and I just walked around like this. And like I had my arms like all like what, like, and my wife is like, what are you doing? I'm like, we gotta get asparagus.
Did
get
you
our
see
groceries.
Jerome with the 3D printed mask, the Mortal Kombat mask that he made?
Oh, Jerome, I know, man.
So fantastic.
I gotta hit him up for that. I'm gonna see if
I want to go full ninja to the store. You know what I mean? Like, you can get away with it. Nobody knows it's you. You know?
I told you I wore this out, right? I'm gonna do it again. I just wear it out.
I haven't seen it. I would love to see someone like that at our store. Like, that would make my day, because I would love it. I'd be like,
not everybody loved it.
High five, you know?
Not everybody loved it. They acted like, some people loved it. Everyone's like,
yeah.
Judging
well,
me.
Everyone's like, I noticed I do the Nextdoor app, like all the neighbors get on the forum, and everyone's.
All right, hold up, time out. So let me explain to you guys what Nextdoor app is, okay? So Nextdoor app is like, it's like Facebook. I know most teenagers don't use Facebook, right? That's old people thing. But it's like Facebook, but it's just for your neighborhood, and it's just so everybody can complain about their neighbors to their neighbors.
Yep.
It is the greatest thing in the world. It's hilarious.
It's so much fun to read.
Yeah.
But it's
like someone just let their dog bark all night. I'm not going to say who it was, but they live on 170th Street on the corner,
Oh, yeah. Like, the latest one is this guy has, like, egrets. Is that how you say it? The birds? Is it egret? And they're, like, all nesting in his yard, in his trees. And so he said, we're in Texas. I live in Texas. So
yeah,
like,
I forgot to tell you guys, my sister lives in Texas, which is like, it's like America. It's like, if you took America and you were like, here's a bunch of steroids and even more guns, then you would have Texas. That's Texas.
You need to interview Randy sometime.
Randy would hate it. So, okay, my sister and I were born in California, but her husband was born in Texas. And every time I go visit her, all I do is complain about Texas the entire time. And Randy just has to be patient with me and just like, he's trying to have like hospitality. Trying to have Southern hospitality.
Until he takes you shooting with some awesome guns, then you don't complain.
Yeah, no, he takes me out shooting. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I got to shoot an AK-47, an AR-15 with him last time. Yeah, that was good.
He just, I guess, I don't know if this is bad to talk about. He just got me a 22, like I want to get my conceal to carry or whatever.
You're a gun nut.
No.
And you need to be about peace.
A 22 bullet is like that big. But not that it can't do damage, but anyways, it's easier for me.
You are so Texas now. You're not even Californian anymore.
And guys,
like, my husband bought me a gun on my anniversary. I was like, he's like, baby, what do you want for your anniversary? You want a diamond ring? I said, no, I want a Ruger.
And our dad was in the Navy, but we didn't grow up with guns, like, at all. Oh. And they have guns now too. But
you ever see dad shoot?
No, dude, I haven't gone shooting with dad.
Sniper, dude. He's straight up. Yeah, wow. Man. He's like Filipino Rambo. Because Rambo's old now and he's old now, so
we're like the same age, right?
I actually think Sylvester Stallone's older than my dad. My dad's like 70.
But like he's still like massive though.
Huh?
Sylvester Stallone, he's still massive.
I'm telling steroids. Thank you. He's thanking God for illegal steroids and stuff, and nobody tests when you're a movie actor. He's thanking God for right now. They had no, dad can shoot. Yeah, dad's
wow.
No, he can really. I was surprised.
Crazy too, because like if you think about when he retired, what was that, 96 or 94? And we didn't have guns in the house.
98.
No, 98.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry.
Yeah.
We didn't have guns in the house ever. So he went from that long to 3 years ago getting a gun and still like having that skill. But anyways, no, I'm really bad. Like if a 9mm handgun, when I shoot, I like my hands go like this.
Oh my gosh. All right, we gotta stop talking about guns because I'm the youth pastor. So many parents are gonna be so mad at me because they're gonna be like, which I'm not a big gun guy.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get into it. Let's not. No. I'm not gonna get myself into any more.
I'm sorry. It's all me.
It's Texas.
I lived in Texas too long.
Yes.
Too long.
Hey, so did they take the oil in your backyard? Is it worth nothing now?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I went to the gas station today. I think it's like $1.19 a gallon, and I filled up my van for like less than $20.
That's
which
nuts.
Like some people are like, hey, like no, that's bad.
This is old people talk. This is what old people talk.
Sorry. Should we talk about anime?
I filled up my gas tank the other day for less than 30. That's old people talk. Sorry, teenagers.
What do we need to talk about? Sci-fi and anime and
no, they get that.
Harry
They
Potter?
get that. No, because this is now on the internet, and their parents are seeing this now. When we're at church, they know. They're okay with it. You froze. Okay, you're good now.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so what advice do you have for teenagers? I'm calling all my friends. What I've been doing is I've been calling all my friends and saying, just first off, catching up with them. So there's like people I haven't, like I've been sending memes to them for like 5 years, but we haven't actually talked. So that was like one of my conversations today with my friend Tony. And the other thing is, I'm asking them, hey, give some advice to some of our teenagers because they hear from me all the time. So.
Mm-hmm. I would say, I think the big thing, and I say this as a parent with our children, the big thing that I've noticed that's been good for our kids is having a routine. Like I know that some of you guys don't want to, sometimes I don't want to, but like wake up, take a shower, like get up, take a shower and get ready. Like you don't have to get all fancy. You don't have to, maybe not even iron your clothes. But just get up and get ready and then go on with your day. It actually, when you feel good, then your mentality is better, So definitely, get ready. Girls, if you wear makeup, put on a little bit of makeup, make you feel better. Just do your hair a little bit. Nothing crazy. I've been doing messy buns for like ever. So
I've been doing this undercut.
Yeah. Maybe I should tell them don't cut your own hair. No.
Hey, this haircut, this is pretty good.
No, it's not bad. That's why I
This is the
asked
second
you.
time I've done it. This is the second time I've done it.
So do you just like one, like a two comb?
No,
One comb?
I cut it pretty short, but I fade it a little bit. It's got a fade to it, not too much.
Wow.
And I go all the way up. I just comb it all the way this way and this way. But I
Maybe.
started combing my hair because, or cutting my hair because, like, it makes me. I felt like I had control over something. It made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
I actually talked to the teenagers about that a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
I was giving them some things to do to kind of lift up their spirit, and I was just talking about like have one day at least where you just get like really dressed up, not like
Yeah.
just like iron your
Like
clothes.
you were gonna go somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're
Mhm.
gonna feel better.
It
And
does.
then,
It does. I mean, I notice on my days, like we make our kids put on their school uniforms. So we have a schedule.
dang,
We
you guys are
we start
horrible. You are the worst. I'm so glad you're not my parents.
we start at 8 o'clock and they do their school, their teachers send them videos and we pick up schoolwork, kind of like what me and you did, like our homeschool,
Yeah,
like independent
independent
study.
study.
Yeah, we would pick up work once a week. We turn in our work for that week and then we pick up new work for the next week. So we start them at 8 and it's up to them like how long they want to take. And I usually with the younger ones, with the 7-year-old, amazingly, Olivia, she'll knock it out, but I have to watch her because she knows, she's smart enough to understand I can just do my work and not watch the videos. And so I have to make her watch the
That's
videos.
me right there.
And
That's so much
William, he's really good. He's smart. He won't lie. He's like me. He can't lie.
Diligent.
So he will speed up the videos.
That's awesome.
I was walking by and like his teacher was like, slow that video down. So anyways, but we make them get ready, like we do breakfast. It's not as crazy it used to be because we had to get up and leave the house by like 7:10. Now, we don't have to leave the house, but we, get up, we all have breakfast together sometimes. And then by 8 o'clock, they're usually, dressed and ready to do their schoolwork. So routine.
Are there specific things that you make sure that they do every day? Like I make sure you say you make sure that they put on their uniforms or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else that specifically like you're just like for me, it's like what I've started doing is I have like these little like breaks in my day where I have like a ritual thing that I do. Maybe it's like at 2:00, like 2:00, usually I'll stop and say a prayer, but I'll like get out of my seat because otherwise I'll just sit here all day.
Yeah.
I try to set things like that because it helps me to have something that I'm supposed to do next.
More with William because he's 11. So he's in that preteen stage. He's going to be in 7th grade next year. So a lot of you 7th graders will understand. But
no, my 7th graders don't understand anything. They're crazy. They're animals, man. I have this one kid, I'm not going to say his name. He's tall for his age. And his friends are like this to him. And then he sits by him and then he'll whisper in church. And I call him out like all the time. And he's like, I don't know why you call me out. It's like when everyone around you is a foot shorter than you, you're going to stick out, So
poor kid. And I bet a lot of people expect more from him because they think like strangers, like people don't know him. They expect more from him. But anyways, William, he does more stuff. Like me and him we started trying to learn Spanish through Rosetta Stone. So
Did you get the lifetime subscription?
From Rosetta Stone?
Yeah.
No, we got a program like
Oh, they have a student program. It's like free or cheap or something.
Oh, really? No.
Sucker.
We got somebody off Craigslist or something.
Yeah, some bootleg.
It's legit.
Not even Rosetta Stone. It's like Rosy Plastic or something like that. It's some bootleg version you got like in the Walmart bargain bin. And it's not even Spanish. It's like Spanglish. It's like, watchate. That means you watch.
We'll see. He started saying stuff to me and I'm like he's catching on like really quick and I'm a little bit slower. But anyways, so he does that. He has his piano. We're continuing his piano. Then he got the guitar that, Grandpa got him for Christmas. So we have him doing guitar also. So he's got more stuff. The girls, it's kind of like, they help me with the house.
Does that help William to kind of keep, like busy because he has stuff to do and push towards.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of my teenagers, the ones that are their parents, the ones where the parents call me and they're like, my kid's going crazy and stuff. And the ones that seem like a little bit more down is that it's like they barely do their schoolwork, which they're all frustrated. They're not lazy. They're not bad. It's just like they don't see their teacher.
Situation.
It's a weird situation. And
Yeah.
so then they just are kind of barely doing their schoolwork. They're not really putting the effort into it. And then all they do is either watch. After that, it's just Netflix and video games, like 100%. Which I mean, I watch my fair share of Netflix and I play my fair share of video games. I'm playing Stardew Valley right now, which is like a farming simulation. Oh my goodness, super addictive. I got to like be like, no, you know. So, but I feel like they struggle. But it's like, okay, so I'm always trying to push them. Like, if you have a guitar at home, like get better at it. If you like to draw, work on your sketch every day.
Or even like do something new that you don't know, like get out of your comfort zone. I did painting like a couple weeks ago, which I really don't like. I don't like painting. I realized.
I saw your team. You did
like
good.
taking pictures, but yeah, it turned out good. It took me 3 hours to do it.
I said you did good. You don't need to brag on yourself, okay? I'm like, you did good. And you're like, I know. I'm amazing. Oh my gosh, Chrissy. Oh my gosh.
I am not that horrible as he makes me sound. I am not that bad. So anyways, just try something new, like something out of your comfort zone. You know, you can go on YouTube, just be careful, but you can go on YouTube and like, and look up, you know, painting or even, you know, music or something. So, I would definitely like, you know, sketching, something that you could do, because a lot of us aren't spending money now either. So like think of the things that you have in your home and what can I make out of these things that your parents will let you.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like such a disaster. We did that every day of summer. So I've told the kids this, that we were latchkey kids. Our parents both worked. You know, we came home, we had a key in our pocket. Our parents weren't home. So during the summer, it was pretty much just, we were by ourselves most of the time. You know, mom was at work, dad was at work. And we would do the craziest stuff.
A lot of movies. Have you told them about the movies that we used to
make? To make movies. My dad had an old camcorder. We used to make these cheesy movies. And it was always like, yeah, we're going to make like a kung fu movie. And it was just me.
We're going to make a better version of Mortal Kombat than the one that came out
like
in the 90s.
Which I don't know how you can top that classic. Yeah.
I thought about watching it. I was thinking about movies to watch, like from our childhood. I want to watch.
Go ahead and start that conversation. That's not going to get me in any trouble with the parents.
No, these
talk about movies I watched when I was a kid. They're going to love this. Yeah.
What? Wait, I was thinking of the one. What's the one with James Earl Jones? And it's got the typical, like, you killed my brother and I want revenge.
Best of the best.
Best of the best. I want to watch that.
James Earl Jones was a Taekwondo coach. That makes no sense. Yeah. You know, the guy like breaks his arm. He's like, Tommy, no, don't do it. And Tommy really wants to like kill that guy. Yeah. And at the end, he doesn't do it. And he's like, I'll be your brother because I killed your brother. Like, I don't want you. I'd have been like, I don't want you, bro. You killed my brother, man.
Yeah. But I was thinking about, I need to share that with Randy. He'll be like, what is this? Like, what are we watching?
Dude, nobody cared back then. Like, if you were a good actor, you could be anything. James Earl Jones, Taekwondo coach. Okay. No one questioned it. Makes no sense whatsoever.
It was the 90s, guys.
It
was that before they were born? Around the time they were born?
It's 2020.
Oh, yeah.
They were all born in 2007
oh, my goodness.
And stuff.
I got to tell you what William said the other day. So he was asking Randy a history question, and he was asking about President Reagan. And when he was in office, and Randy was like, well, that was in the 80s.
USA.
And William was like, oh, so that was like 40 years ago. And I'm like, oh, no. 40 years ago.
I know, right?
No.
We have lived within 5 different decades now. 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
We've been inside 5 different decades now.
The 90s and the 80s were the best, but sorry guys, that's like something you won't even can't even comprehend before
So,
cell phones.
so like there was a show that came out, which I'm not allowed to say because I don't want to encourage it, but it was about like kids in the 80s. And all these kids at church on Sunday were like, Brother Mike, was that what it was like when you were a kid? It was like they were watching like a history documentary. And they're
But
like, is that what it was like? You used to
how
ride your bikes?
accurate
I'm
was
like,
it
yeah.
though?
Huh?
How accurate was it though?
It was pretty accurate. That was it, man. Well, I used to I tell the kids this. It was like, summer, in the morning. And I always woke up early. You remember this. You like to sleep in, not me. I never liked to sleep, period. I was just like this insomniac little animal feral child, man. I was like Mowgli from the Jungle Book. So I remember we would just wake up. I'd wake up at like 7. And then as soon as I could, I got out of the house and I would just ride my bike all day. I wouldn't be home till like 6 o'clock that night. Like that was
Did
me
you
every
eat
day.
lunch? Like, would you like bum food off of your friends or something?
Totally.
Okay.
Like
Like
you go to their
be
friend's house.
at lunchtime, right?
Lunchtime, you'd be at your friend's house. Sometimes I'd be home, but like anytime I could, if I was out, I was like, I wanted to stay out as long as possible.
Or do you like remember, like, would you pick your friends for lunchtime? Like, oh, I need to be at this house at lunchtime.
No. I remember Jerome's mom would make me like spam and eggs and rice, and I'd be like so happy. I love that when I was a kid, man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Funny, man.
Oh, I have one, I guess you could say a spiritual suggestion for during these times where you're stuck at home.
Yeah.
I think one of the very first things I looked up in the Bible when I found out that we were going to be stuck at home for a while, and not just that we were stuck at home, but this crazy, like, insane virus was like worldwide, and crazy things were happening. I went to the first phrase that came to mind was the "Be still and know that I am God." And so, but I can't remember what context.
Hold up, you're stuck. Oh my gosh, you're stuck, and you look like
crazy things around you are happening. Like
time out.
What?
You got stuck, and you look like the Undertaker for 5 seconds. You were like this, like it's awesome. All right, so start that again about the context of that verse.
So, around that verse or before that verse where it says, "Be still and know that I am God," it talks about like just the heathen rage, the kingdoms were moved, like crazy things are happening. Mm-hmm. And then further down, I'm trying to find it. Verse 10. Verse 9 it says, "He maketh wars to cease, and to the end of the earth he breaketh the bow," talking about God. Like God is in control. And then it says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth." And that was really comforting because, regardless of what happens in our world, that we know that we can trust in God. And a lot of the Psalms, I would say, not just Psalms 46, but like Psalms in general, whenever you're feeling depressed, or you have anxiety, worried about stuff, like read Psalms. Psalms is fantastic. I think I was kind of flipping through Psalm 60, like the 60, start in Psalm 60 and go through there. My God is my rock and my salvation. David talks a lot about persecution and stuff like that, and enemies. He's always talking about enemies are coming after me. And that, you just need to trust in God. So
I like David because like David's like 1 second he wants to be like an R&B singer. He wants to be like, God. And then like the next psalm is like heavy metal. It's like, my enemies, I'm gonna kill them. And it's like, dang, bro, relax, Metallica. What are you doing over there?
But yeah, that's so life, right? There's like peaceful moments, and then there's the valleys, and it's like crazy, and you know.
I think a lot of people just they have this expectation that life is always going to be like that. Like they like, if I'm gonna work hard enough or get to I'm gonna get to a good place, and life's gonna be good, and then it's just gonna stay there until. And that's just not the way it is.
It isn't.
I just said that's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. So it's, life is very, mercurial. It's like you're going to have, the problem is, we live in America and we're so comfortable here.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So
That's
we're
true.
not used to discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're just not. The majority of us, we don't live in abject poverty. Most people do fairly well, even if you're like lower middle class.
Yeah.
Like you live a very comfortable life compared to other places in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so with us, because we've lost a lot of our comforts, it's just really upsetting to us,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, everyone, like the rest of the world's like, hello.
We're freaking out.
This is Tuesday for us. Like, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
whatever. So, like I want my teenagers to realize that, like a lot of them, they're going through seasons of struggle, or they have, and they're just going through tough situations in their life. And so then they're kind of just like, they're trying to come out of it. But I want them to know, unfortunately, like you're going to hit low points again, and you're going to hit high points. You're going to hit low points. And I've said this before, I've had so many bad days in my life that whenever I'm having a good one, I am completely aware of it. And I just sit back and I enjoy it.
Yes.
I don't try to cause drama for myself. I don't say, oh my goodness, that was so tough. I was like, no, man, like, okay, I'll deal with that later. Right now, I'm good,
Good. Yes. Yeah.
And even when you're going through tough stuff, you have to find those like positive aspects to it. You gotta see where God is working. I think that's good where you talked about be still and know that I'm God. Because it's, basically the whole world is going crazy and you have to stop.
Yep.
Like you can't get caught up in, everybody else is going nuts, So basically it's like, if you go outside, you're killing your grandma. Like people are just like going nuts at each other. And it's like,
oh, and it's two ends of the spectrum. There's the like, it's the end of the world. And there's the, I don't really care. I'm going to do what I want. You know what I mean?
And they're all like, ah.
And I live in Texas, so it's a majority of I'm going to do what I want.
I'm do what I want. Because we're Texas. Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it's good for, I'm trying to get our teenagers to really understand like being spiritual is, it's not divorcing yourself from everything going on in the world. It's just understanding that there's something bigger at play. And that's God. And God knows what's going on, and God wasn't surprised by this. Yes. And I know some people be like, oh, God caused this. Why did he? No, I don't, whatever. I don't like that. I don't go to that. Yeah, I don't go down that road. It's just, they have to have the faith that God knows what's going on. He knows what your situation is, and he wants to use this in different ways in everybody's life to help you, make you a better Christian, make you stronger, as we all go through this crazy situation together. So I think we just have to have faith in that. Every once in a while, we just have to turn off the TV, turn off our friends, turn off everything, and just get it real quiet and just like, okay, just think about God. And what is God trying to do?
Yes.
What does God want me to learn right now? What does God want me to do right now?
You need like a quiet place. If you can even like find a quiet space in your house and put on some earbuds, and I would even say like do classical music, maybe just instrumental, nothing with lyrics. Nothing with lyrics, and just like zone out. That would be good for you. It really would. One more thing, this one, it came to mind. Our pastor said, our hope is a person. And there's a verse that goes with that, but I can't remember. I think it's in 1 Peter or something.
You're just making up stuff now.
No, I'll have to send it to you later.
Okay.
But our hope is a person. Our hope is Jesus. Like we have hope. Like we are not in despair. I mean, this is definitely hard times for sure. But our hope is in a person, and that person is Jesus Christ. So,
and he said, I'll never leave thee nor forsake thee.
Exactly.
He's with us. Like you have to hold on to that he's with you. Like, and here's the thing, right? Whenever I think about that, that's he knows what all the apostles are about to go through. All his disciples that are there, he's speaking specifically to them. He's like giving them that last bit of comfort because these people are going to get crucified. They're going to get jailed. They're going to get stoned. They're going to get killed because they're going to start preaching the gospel. And he says, I'm with you to the end of the earth. He said, I'm with you.
Yep.
So when you're in that horrible, worst moment, like I'm with you. Boom. That's like amazing. I think that people need to, like, Christians need to get back to that. Like our faith is, it's just that we have God. We have Christ. When you read about the early church, like we get mad. People are like, we're so persecuted because they said not to, meet at church while we have this worldwide pandemic, right? And it's like, are they hating you? Are they killing you? Are they lining you up? There are other places they've done that. Are they beheading? They're not doing that. So it's like, but it's you read about the early church and the martyrs and the persecution, the real persecution they faced, and they were just like, I'm with my Savior.
Mm-hmm.
Like they hated him. Why wouldn't they hate me? I understand. Like they just accepted it. And Jesus talked about that, like being led as a lamb to the slaughter. Like they faced some crazy hard times, but you read so many stories of people who had peace.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because it didn't matter what they were facing. I think a lot of people want to escape their situations and they think that's going to fix everything. But no, it's like, you just need Jesus. You need to have a relationship with God.
Well, and more of personal things, but I was reading 2 Corinthians chapter 12, where Paul is talking about the thorn of the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And, he asked God to take it away from him. And Jesus replies, my grace is sufficient for thee. Isn't that crazy?
It's like, take this away, man. It bothers me. It's like, no, you're good. You got me.
And so he says, most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. Like he had something awful tormenting him, and then he accepted it and said, because I want Christ to work through me. Isn't that crazy? Like I have to accept this awful situation so that way Christ can work through me.
We complain so much. And I think that's, and it's not that there's not validity to people's complaints, but the problem is that complaining is not, it's not like, okay, what is God, me and God got to figure out what we're going to do about this. And I have to accept that whatever this is part of my life. I got a bad situation. I got a health problem. I got this quarantine, and Christians just they just want to complain and complain and complain. And they look at prayer as like, God, take this away. God, take this away. God, take this away. Oh, he didn't do it. He's a fake. Like that's how we judge God. And Apostle Paul is like, no, God, I want this taken away. What are you going to do about it? I'm not going to take it away. My grace is enough for you. Okay. Well, that's what God wants.
That's a hard pill to swallow. Like that's a hard pill to swallow. But he did it,
It's not easy. Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to make it sound easy. But man, do we spend a lot of time complaining. I think it's so hurtful to people. Like, I think it's really hurtful. But yeah.
Yeah. So
woo.
Anyway.
You took some like heavy hitter verses, girl. I'm like, let's encourage the teenagers.
Sorry.
You're like, boom. You got your Texas Bible gun.
All right, let me go back to Psalms real quick.
Go back to Psalms. You're like, kill the enemies. No, not that Psalm.
This is a perfect one. This one I taught my kids when they would have nightmares. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Like, it's so simple, and, they learn it in elementary school, but, I mean, it's in the Bible. God said it.
Do you have the, what's it called for it? Because not all my kids are public school kids. Yeah, so what's
Psalms 56:3, I think. Hold on.
I think that's a great verse, Psalm 56:3. I've been really pushing my teenagers, to memorize scripture.
Yeah. And Psalms are great. They really are. Like they're, for some reason, I feel like they're easy to memorize. Maybe because they're songs, I don't know.
They're lyrical. They're poetic. Yeah.
So I'm going to double check and make sure that's right.
It's hard to memorize. It's hard to memorize like Deuteronomy and Leviticus, like talking about shellfish and sewing and stuff. And you're like, what? Like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, stick with Psalms, guys. That's a good one.
Stick with Psalms.
Yeah, so anyways, that's what I mean, like, and I talked to a friend a while ago. We were talking about when you have kids, you go through things, a lot of it is depression, especially, women, because our, hormones, sorry guys. But anyways, your bodies are You're changing.
You're so trying to get me fired. You are so trying to get me fired.
This is some mom talk,
Is this
right?
revenge?
That's for your awful introduction earlier. So.
All right.
Anyways, but going through depression, like I asked her, I said, what verses got you through it? And she said Psalms. She would go to Psalms like all the time. So like seriously, guys, like Psalms is a great place to start. And then, they say Proverbs is for wisdom and dealing with, people and different kinds of people and stuff like that. But Psalms is really good for encouragement.
I would suggest the teenagers stay in Psalms and in the Gospel of John.
Oh yeah.
Because the Gospel of John is such like an emotional gospel,
Yeah.
John the Beloved writes it. And the reason why he's called John the Beloved is because he refers to himself as like the disciple
whom
Jesus loved. Like he's like, he just totally like, that's his title. But he's very comforted by that.
Yeah.
You can tell like, he's and you see so much of the compassion of Christ in the book of John, like in just a little bit, you see it in the other ones. He's healing people, but it's just like
perspective.
Yeah.
Right?
I would highly recommend our teenagers to be in the book of Psalms and the book of John. I'll be honest with you, it saddens me. And I know how it is because when I was a teenager, I struggled reading the Bible too. But I felt like I had I would have my moments. I really wanted to, Like I would go down. Remember that when we moved inside the Monterey city limits, and we had that like if you go 3 blocks down from our apartment where we were at, there was a little beach underneath the hotel.
Yeah. Yep.
I would go there all the time. I would just sit there and I would pray. Sometimes I would just leave the house for half hour. I would just go down there and I was as best I knew how I would pray. And I just wish, and not like, it wasn't like I was like this like awesome teenager. I mean, I was like I felt like I was a pretty like average teenager, I was strange. I was crazy, but I didn't feel like I was like super Christian. But at least it was like I would go try. So I'd go down there and I look at the ocean, I pray. I just wish I would like more of my teenagers. I do have a few that I know that they're like really trying to dig into the scripture. I just wish that more of them would really take that seriously. There's just so much distraction now.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't have that, growing up. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have Instagram and TikTok and whatever. I can't think of the other Twitter.
You're old. We didn't have Facebook and MySpace. Oh my gosh.
MySpace.
We had I spent a lot of time in the library. I read a lot. It was just, we just didn't have the distraction. We didn't have cable TV.
Yeah.
Because our parents couldn't afford it. So it was just like, you had your 4 channels. And if you missed your show, you missed your show. Too bad.
Go ahead.
I just feel like, the stuff that we were quote unquote missing out on, it was just good for me because it pushed me towards other things.
Do they still have I'm not in that world, so I don't understand it. But do they, they're all home. Do they still have that peer pressure because of social media? Or can they just disconnect from it?
No, I think a lot of, but that's okay. So when you're a teenager, your friends group is extremely important to you. When I was a teenager, not so much. And the reason why was because I got in a ton of trouble because of my friends. When I was in 8th, you remember?
Yeah.
I got in, a lot of trouble. I've told the story to my teenagers. They know what I'm talking about. I got in a ton of trouble. And so then in 8th grade, my mind shifted. So it was okay, friends are good, but if they're going to get you in trouble. So I became I was already had an independent streak, but in high school, it'd be fine. If I disappeared for 3 hours because I just wanted to walk around, I was fine. Jake was the same way.
Yeah.
We were just both but these kids coming up, they which I get, and that was just, I was a little bit odd. So, but with them, it's just, they're out of school. And so they don't get to see their friends at school.
So they want to be connected.
So even for me, when we go to church, that was important because at least I had my friends there.
Yeah.
I only saw them 2 or 3 times a week, but still that was important to me. But for them, it's they see their friends every single day, all of this stuff. And now that's taken away. So that losing that connection and getting off of social media for an extended period of time, I think it's difficult for some of them. Not all of them. Some of them are okay.
Yeah.
A lot of them have brothers and sisters. I'm trying to think of anybody who's
Well, and that's part of their norm, right? Like it's part of their like routine, like daily routine.
well, and we're a super social church.
Yeah.
Like we're just around each other a lot.
Mhm.
We just are. And so then, you know, it's just you don't get to see your school friends, your church friends. And so
Yeah.
really you just stay there a lot. It's so funny because there's I'll play online. I'll play Call of Duty with some of the teenage guys, and they
Mhm.
have a friend from school, and we'll be in there, and all of a sudden I'll hear him like I'll be playing for like 15 minutes, and all of a sudden this one kid will be like, "All right, I'm out of here." I'm like, "Whoa, who is that?" Like, what is going? I'm like, "Who was that?" They're like, "Oh, that was our friend from school." I'm like, "Has he been here the entire time?" Like, yeah. I'm like, he didn't say one thing. But for him, he just wants to hang out with his friends. So he wants to be
Yeah.
there. And even if he's
Mhm.
not going to be part of the conversation, he wants to hear what they're talking about and all that. It's just, so it's hard. I do think that, and I'm not again. I really want them to make sure they keep those connections going. It's
Oh yeah.
important,
Mhm.
but I do wish that they would be like, okay, I'm going to do a timeout, turn off my phone, turn off my. I do that. Like the other day on Thursday, I was like, I'm going to stay off the social media because I was getting really down about stuff. Then I
Yeah.
came back and Donald Trump was telling me like,
It was like crazy.
I'm like, I left the internet for one day and you couldn't behave. You guys couldn't behave. What's happening? That was saying like, don't drink bleach was like the hashtag was trending on Twitter. I'm like, one day. I just needed a day away from you guys, and I'm glad I took it.
So someone shared like I guess the transcript of that whatever he
Don't
said.
start. Don't
I'm
look.
like,
Stop. Don't. Let's not.
no, I don't have an opinion on what he said other than like sometimes I don't even understand what he's saying. So like, you guys are interpreting crazy right now. So
Stop. It's so crazy. We live in a nuts world.
yeah. So anyways, maybe like if you guys challenge yourself to like maybe set aside a specific time to just tune everything out and either meditate or read or just like zone out or something, just to designate like a break in your day of no social media, no internet, like a
That'd be
fast.
good. Maybe instead of like, okay, my problem is I tend to think like big chunks. Like I'm such
Yeah.
an on and off person. Okay,
Yeah.
no video games for a month, everybody. Let's do it. And they're all like, oh my gosh,
You're
but
nuts.
you're so psycho. That's the only thing that I can do right now, Like, I'm so intense about stuff. Sometimes they're just like
It's all or nothing.
all the time, all the
Yeah.
time. That's how I
Let's
act,
do
man.
baby steps. Maybe that'd be better.
No, I think it's good. I think that's a good thing if you take an hour a day and say, okay, this is hours designated for just turn off that power down. No
Mhm.
TV, maybe some light music playing in the back.
Yeah.
No headphones though, just like,
Yeah.
unless, whatever, maybe headphones. But it's like go read a book. Go sit in your
Mm.
backyard. Go sit in the front. If it's sunny, I tell the kid when it's sunny out, go outside.
Go outside, get your vitamin D, guys.
Go outside. Go to your
Yeah,
backyard,
you
I had
need
like
fresh
one kid who
air.
was so funny. She was on like Instagram. She's like, I haven't been out in 2 weeks. I'm like, no one told you couldn't go outside.
Who was that?
It's one of the teenagers in
Oh,
the thing.
oh.
And I see that. I'm like, who told you couldn't go outside? Like, step outside your front door, Like, I haven't
Like,
been.
are there any good places for them to like explore? Like, go for a walk? Like, do you have any nice parks to walk in or
There is,
anything
but
like
I
that?
don't know how it's
Like a
hard.
parent
Sometimes they're
schedule
saying they're
stuff?
shutting them down, Sometimes they're saying you don't go.
Yeah.
I see people riding bikes around all the time, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Like we have our park by our house. We have a huge field. That's where I've been taking the kids to fly their kites. And like they have a sign like don't play on the equipment and stay 6 feet apart. That's like it. That's the only rules they have.
Mm.
To stay 6 feet apart, which it's a huge field and nobody is ever there. Like people are walking the neighborhood, but I never see people in the park. Except one time, the first time we went, there was a bunch of people sitting at the picnic tables, and then when they saw us, they left.
They're like, they're gonna call the cops.
Me and my 3 kids and my dog.
Everybody, yeah, but your kids are narcs, man. I could tell. Like one of them would be like,
One of them is,
"Hello, officer. I saw people. They were eating McDonald's at the bench."
Bethany, anything that we can't do, Bethany makes this face. She goes, because of Corona. Like, I need to make a meme of her face and put whatever because of Corona.
Corona.
That's what she called.
Corona. Did you hear Jake? Jake called me the other day. I don't know if he called you. He was telling me about how he was like, got to get tested and all that. And he's like, man, the Rona. He's like, the Rona. I love it. This is funny how it sounds though. He's like, the Rona, man. The Rona.
Have you seen that Office meme? I need to send it to you. It's hilarious.
About you bringing up The Office now too? Thank you.
No, the doctor's office.
See, this is why we never let you do stuff, because you're horrible at covering up. You're horrible at covering up. You're horrible at it.
That's why I don't.
Go like, no, Chrissy, because you're gonna get us in trouble. No, I'm not. And then as soon as we said, okay, we're gonna go, you'd be like, Mom, Jake and Mike are going out and they're gonna do this. I was like, the worst, man. That's how I know.
I do not lie.
Olivia's just like every time.
Oh no, she'll be like running over there with them, like.
Makes me proud. All right, girl. I think we've been going for a while, so I'm gonna end it. But thanks for sharing those things with our teenagers. I think that's gonna, just to recap, it's just hey, find your place to be quiet, to just think about God, think about what he means to you, what he's doing in your life, to pray to him. Everything else is going crazy, but don't get caught up in all of that and do it. You have enough of your problems. You have enough of your own problems. Mm-hmm. You don't need to try to take on the whole world's problems also. Mm-hmm. And then, find some positive things to do. My sister was painting. Your paintings were good too. You did a good job. And then, just find those things. If you have that guitar that you need to practice your guitar, do these things. Like, do some positive things. Don't just sit there and do nothing. And you have to power it down a little bit every day. You just have to put the phone away for a second. You have to turn off the video games and Netflix, whatever it is. And just, you have to have that time where you kind of like just let your soul rest and your spirit rest. And that's probably a good time just to go outside and just, be comfortable. So I think that'd be good for them. Why I appreciate it. I was going to tell a story about you, but I forgot what it was. So
I have a great one.
All right, let's hear it. We'll finish.
Have I not told enough? Okay, this one's awesome. So I don't even know how it started, but I can tell you how it ended. So remember when you and Jake were having an argument and you were sitting on the dining room table?
Which time?
But you were holding your little ponytail that you had.
I had like a ponytail, and it went down to like it was long. It was long, yeah.
So anyways, you guys were arguing. And you're sitting at on the dining room table with scissors, and I come in like at the end of it, and Jake's like in the living room because our living room was separated by carpet from the dining room, right?
Yeah, it was like carpet floor, and then the dining room had like that linoleum stuff.
And so you're like, if you come one step closer, I'm gonna cut it off. And Jake stepped in the dining room. And you cut it off, and I started screaming and crying.
Why did we
get in so much trouble?
Why did we think that was going to get anyone in trouble?
Dad didn't even care. I don't even think he noticed.
No, but he didn't even care. No. I know. I just didn't say anything. And like literally it was like nothing happened. Like maybe a couple days later, it's like, what happened to your hair?
But when we were kids, everything was dramatic. Everything was like super drama. Like, I think we watched too much WWF or something growing up.
Hey, I had to stop watching it with Lila because the other day she picked up her little plastic chair and she was coming at me. I'm like, hey, Stone Cold, chill out.
I saw that video of her, like, was she yelling while you were watching it or, like, grunting? Or
yeah, she's like, she like did this weird shriek.
Like, no, don't.
So cool. She's so cool.
Oh, that's hilarious. But
all right, girl.
That's all I got.
I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much. We'll do this again, okay?
Okay, yeah, definitely.
This
All
time,
right.
next time, actually have Bible verses, okay? Don't just make up stuff.
You guys take care too. It'll be all right. You guys will be fine. It'll be good.
All right.